sort stuff out. Okay. Okay, so let's get started. I would love to see everybody's beautiful face if you feel comfortable, because it helps me a lot. But if not, if you're shy, like I usually am camera shy, then I totally understand. Welcome. Please, in the chat, write where you're from, your name, and what brought you to this event. I would love to know what brought you here. Okay. And pardon me for multitasking. Okay, I have a camera, but the light is terrible here. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, just write, where you're from and what brought you to this networking workshop, which we're gonna do. It's really fun. It's one of my favorite topics in the world to talk about. So go ahead, write in the chat while we wait for everybody else to drop by. Okay. Am I visible clearly? Like, am I the main speaker right now in on the screen? Okay. Because I'm seeing myself in the corner, and somebody else is on the main screen, so like, I'm not sure. Hi, hi G, thank you for coming. Finally, you're on one of my events, eh? For once. It's not only me coming to your event, so that's awesome. So this is gonna be interactive, guys. It's not like a presentation where I just talk, and like you just listen. It's like a workshop. I'm gonna ask you to think, and I'm gonna ask you to like write stuff down. And so, first things first. Oh, somebody's in the wait room. Hold on. First things first, grab your phone, please, because you're gonna need it for this presentation. I have a lot of QRL codes for you guys to scan, so make sure you have your phone by your side because you're going to be scanning stuff. Okay. Hi, I'm Steve from Czech Republic. Wow. Found that event on Tanya's MFK's LinkedIn. Awesome. Welcome, everybody. Faisal, do I know you? I feel like we met before. Um, I like to learn more about personal branding. Okay, awesome. And oh, someone else is in the wait room. Okay. Well, thank you everybody for taking taking your time to come here. I know your time is very precious. So I want to make sure that I deliver for you as far as value during this event. Cindy, hi Rose, I'm Cindy. I'm from Belgium and living for 20 years, Joy of Life, a coach. Also heard about you from Tanya. Oh, thank you, Tanya, for bringing all these people together. And so thankful for you. Okay, she's not here though, but she'll maybe watch the recording. Okay. So maybe we should just get started and then we'll wait for everybody else to trickle in. But I'm so privileged to have you all here because yeah, I haven't done one of these in a really long time. I've kind of been MIA, but that's another story for another day. But yeah, I'm happy to be here. So we're talking about networking. So let's get into the presentation. Let me just prepare the screen for that. Change my screen. Here we go. Okay. Make sure you have a pen and paper, by the way, because the first activity is going to require some writing. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Okay, everyone can see my screen clearly? Thumbs up, thumbs down. It's loading. Okay. So I can't see the chat, by the way. This is making me nervous. But I hope you guys can see my screen. Let me actually change the view because I can't. Okay, you guys, I need like this because I can't see the chat. Okay, so how to network like a pro. This is the event for today, on LinkedIn specifically. So this is the agenda for today. First, I'll introduce myself properly. I'll talk about Modern Business Mastery, the group that I'm a part of, and we'll talk about networking using the Bloom method that I came up with. And then in the end, I'll take any Q&A any questions you might have. So a little bit about me. In 22, I left my decade-long career in education. So I used to be an English language teacher, and that granted me the opportunity to travel the world and live in different countries, which was awesome. But then I came back here and decided to change career paths. So I became a job developer and resume writer. And that's how I discovered the power of LinkedIn. And I started offering my services on LinkedIn. And then I transitioned to personal branding and decided to leverage my expertise in LinkedIn towards personal branding because I saw that a lot of the people I was helping to get a job also required personal branding services. So then I doubled down on personal branding and learned everything there is to know in a matter of a very short time. And then I was able to blow up my LinkedIn profile to 9K. And then now I get to call myself an agency owner because now I have my own agency called the Brand Alchemist, and where I help service providers succeed on LinkedIn through lead generation and personal branding. So that's a little bit about me. I want to tell you guys about my services as well, in case you're curious. So, so I transitioned to a done-for-you service to help elevate your personal brand with the Bloom method that I came up with to optimize their LinkedIn profile and content for visibility and positioning, to attract high quality clients and expand your network, to generate high quality leads to grow. Why I transitioned to done for you instead of done with you is because I know this works better. After trying done with you, I want to give top notch service to service providers. So this is the way to go. So let's get into the next agenda item, which is talking about modern business mastery. So this is such an awesome group, you guys. Like I can't even tell you how grateful I am to be a part of this group. I've seen a lot of groups being offered on LinkedIn, but nothing comes even close to this group because the value that you get from being in this group, and I'm a non-paid member, so I'm not like getting paid for to say this. I just genuinely believe in this group, but I am a council member, um, so that means I offer free workshops inside the group. So if you're gonna like this one, then please come back for more. So we help like solopreneurs, business owners to put life ahead of business. So it's a life first approach, which I love because I'm tired of getting burned out. So yeah, so there's like two programs. One is like a year-long program, I believe, and then the other one is a group program. So I'll send you guys the information later through the PowerPoint presentation. I'll also include that when I share the recording of this presentation. Okay. So on to, oh, by the way, these are some QRL codes for to join the newsletter for Modern Business Mastery. Um, and a free strategy session that's coming up. Also to connect on LinkedIn and to connect and get a free game plan toolkit. I highly recommend you guys get that QRL code going and download these items. Okay, on to the next. Sorry if I'm blowing past this, but I'll slow down when I talk about networking. I'm a little bit nervous. I don't know if you can tell. So networking with the Bloom method. Okay. So the first thing is B, which is build. This is part like building your network, actually building it. So how do you actually build your network? Um, well, first you have to know your why. This is the most important thing. So using the 7 why method, you keep asking yourself why until you get to the core of why you're doing this. So, for example, why do you want to build a network on LinkedIn? because I want more visibility for my solopreneur business, for example. Why do you want more visibility for your solopreneur business? Because I need to attract the right clients. Why do you want to attract the right clients on LinkedIn? Because I feel really passionate about what I do and I think I can help them succeed. Why do you want to help them succeed? Because I feel like I'm the best qualified for this. You get the point, right? So you keep asking why until you get to the bottom of, why you're doing it. So I want you to take a minute and to ask yourself, why do you want to build a network on LinkedIn? Just going to admit some people here before we continue. So take a minute to think about, why do you want to do it? Because that's the foundational block. Before you think about the who, before you think about the what, you have to think about the why. Why are you doing something? So this is foundations. This is the building block that is necessary, right? So take a minute to think about your why, of why you want to, and when you're done, please share, if you're willing to, in the chat. I'd love to know. Okay, I would love it if someone can read the chat for me because I cannot see the chat. So if someone is willing to help me out and actually read the chat for me, I would really appreciate that. Or you could just raise your hand and unmute and share, by the way. So share your why. Why do you want to build a robust network on LinkedIn? What's the purpose? What is your why?
I'll
Yes,
share.
Kelly. Thank you.
So my why is really to be able to connect with the right people to be able to create as much impact as I can possibly create as fast as I can.
Why do you want to create impact?
I think it's important for me to build a legacy and leave the world a better place.
Okay. And what does that legacy look like?
We're still working on that. But at this point, it's, I think, creating a sustainable business that helps people and also like teaches them so that they can go out and teach people and, be better at it.
So you want to teach people. Why do you want to teach people?
That's the teacher in me because I was a teacher for years. And I think I want to teach people because one-on-one is great and I love copywriting, but I also want to help people take their power and step into their power so that they can also create legacies.
Yes, amazing. I love that. As a former teacher, I approve this message. We have, okay, actually now I can see the chat for some reason. Okay. So, my why, G said my why is discover and develop talent and rock star speakers. LinkedIn is the best way to connect with coaches, visionaries, and thought leaders around the world. Yes, 100%. Kelly wrote, can someone fill me in? Yes, we're doing like the 7 whys until we get to the core of why we want to build a network on LinkedIn. Why is that? Why is building a network on LinkedIn important to you? As we're building our network, it's really important to keep the why in mind, because without this guiding principle of why you're doing something and without this value, like building a legacy, helping teach others, empowering others, then it might get really tiresome really quickly. So your why keeps you going. Your why is your motivation. Without that why, you kind of lose track of why you're doing this, and before you know it, you're just chasing vanity metrics, you're just chasing the numbers, and it's not really you're going to burn out really quickly. Let me just tell you that. Yeah, just from experience. So I think it's really important to understand your why and to go from that place and have that be your guiding way, right? Your guiding light, because without it, you'll want to give up every single day, right? So we don't want to chase the vanity metrics here. That's not what we're about. We want to build a network that's going to elevate our personal brand and elevate our business and really be a strong foundation for what we're trying to develop, which is ultimately leverage that network for the greater good, which is connected to our why, right? Okay. So now we move on to leverage. So the L part of the Bloom method. So tapping into the power of your network. So now that you've built your network with intentionality and now that you have your why, it's time to actually tap into that and start connecting with people. So how do you do that effectively? You send out DMs, direct messages that show genuine interest. Please, that is the key word here, genuine. You don't want to send out the automatic AI message. That is an instant killer. Do not do that. What you want to do is you want to take the time to actually read the profile. I know it's like, wow, really? You actually read my profile. That's amazing. You wouldn't believe how infrequently people read the profile, right? How infrequently they, it takes like 10 seconds to like just browse the profile, the headline, the banner, the about section, right? Give it a quick browse, a scan, and then see what they posted, their last post, and their content is going to tell you what they care about, right? So take the time, read the content, read the profile, and then send out the DMs. But please do not send out a random DM. And it honestly, like, I can tell when someone didn't read my profile. It's pretty obvious. The other thing is commenting with intention, right? Why we want to comment is we develop genuine interest in people's content and what they're doing, and in turn they might reciprocate, right? It's all about, like, networking is all about reciprocity. It's never a one-way street, right? I add value to you, you add value to me, and it's an exchange of value, right? It's never about just selling and being pushy and you know um going after people for about what you want and neglecting what they want, right? Like, I need that job, I need that contact, I need that podcast, I need that thing. You're only thinking about yourself, you're not thinking about the other person, and people can tell and people get turned off, right? The other thing is you don't want to sell on the first DM. Never, 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 never do that. What you want to do is you want to leave at least 5 comments on 5 different occasions to build a rapport. So you want to build a rapport first before you ever send a DM. So commenting and engaging on their content, coming off as genuine, and then sending the DM because you took the time to understand them, you took the time to read their content, you took the time to read the profile. It's about quality over quantity. When we're building a meaningful network that actually reflects where we're trying to go and it's connected to our why, then we do it with intentionality. We don't do it by blasting 100 DMs, at once. You don't want to do like a copy paste message, right? Because people can tell, right? People can tell. And then the amazing thing about that is you start to build friendships and you start to build relationships. And those relationships can actually open so many opportunities. I can speak from experience on that because I've had the privilege of collaborating with amazing people who are like 10 times my size, my audience size. And because of that, I was able to get exposure to their audience. So sometimes the benefit isn't necessarily monetary, but it's relational. And that's the part that we want to also keep in mind and tap into is the benefit of building relationships that are mutually beneficial and not always thinking about the sale, not always thinking about closing, right? It's beyond just that. It's building a network that reflects who you are and where you're trying to go, right? So you can only do that by coming off as genuine and really interested in people, right? If you're um if you're not interested in people, then people are not going to be interested in you. That's just the bottom line, right? So in order to have people be interested in you, you have to be interested in others. Does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up if you agree with this. Okay, great. So in keeping with my own ethos as well as the ethos of modern business mastery, we do life first approach, right? So that means even with our networking, it's all about intentionality. It's all about building relationship. It's not about volume. I don't believe in that. That's why it's like, okay, I'm happy with my 9K followers, okay? I don't need 100K followers because I've meticulously selected my network. I didn't just blast off like connections without any thought to it, right? Okay. So, this brings me to the other aspect, which is collaboration. And this is really, really important because to succeed on LinkedIn long term, you have to consider collaboration over competition. Competition is the fastest way to lose out on opportunities. Collaboration is the best approach. Collaboration opens up more doors and gives you more exposure. And it shows that you're a team player and you're not just, just thinking about yourself. You're also willing to help others, right? Okay. So, one of the best ways to collaborate and also get visibility on LinkedIn is through events. How many of you, just by a show of hands, have tried LinkedIn Live before? Hands up. One, two people. Okay. Yeah, it's a great way, and why I love LinkedIn Lives is because if somebody missed it, they can watch the replay. So the replay is going to stay there for as long as LinkedIn allows it, right? So that's a great way to connect with people. And I'll be honest, like I used to do a lot of audio events, but because they took that option away, I'm gonna have to do LinkedIn Live, which I'm excited about. I'm going to do that very soon. And here's how you do it. So you go to where you normally would share your post, and then you click the plus sign, and it'll show you the event option here as indicated in the circle. So you click that, and it'll take you to create an event. And here you have the dimensions for the cover for the event, and you could go to Canva and create the cover for it. And then here you have two options. You could do an external link, which allows you to do a LinkedIn Live. Normally, people use StreamYard for that to connect, right? And then also you could connect your Zoom, right? You could put your Zoom link, and then it'll take people to the external Zoom link. So those are the two ways to create a LinkedIn Live. And then obviously you put the date, you put the description, and then you put the number of speakers and their names here. And voila, it's like super easy, and it's a great way to interact with people, and people can, show up live with their questions, and then you can answer those questions live, and it's a very interactive process. And yeah, it's a great way to build your network, get exposure, and collaborate with other colleagues who are kind of doing the same thing that you're doing. And so you kind of elevate each other through the event. And I've collaborated with so many amazing people, Jasmine Alec, Taslim, even Chris Do. I've done a couple of his events. He has like 2 million followers across social media platforms. So it's a great opportunity, but remember, it starts with being genuine before you collaborate with people. Make sure that your heart is in the right place, that you're coming off as genuine, and people will help you. People would want to collaborate with you because you've shown interest in them, and therefore they're going to show interest in you. Okay. The other aspect of um the Bloom method, networking Bloom method, is optimization. How you optimize and attract high quality connections with an enhanced LinkedIn profile. Okay. So this is really important. You can send out DMs, you can talk to people, you can show interest in them. But if your profile is not fully optimized, which means, you have a great picture, you have an optimized banner that, talks about what you do, it reflects your brand, it speaks to your ideal clients, it talks about your services, it showcases your value and personality. If you don't have that, then it's going to be an obstacle. So you don't want your profile to become an obstacle. You want to leverage your profile. You want your profile to do some of the heavy lifting for you. You want your profile to actually speak to the kind of people you want to connect with, right? So I'm not going to go too much in depth about profile optimization because I've already done an event on this, so you can check that out in the Modern Business Mastery group. But lucky for you, I have the QRL here. I've created a checklist for a LinkedIn profile makeover. It's totally free. You can scan the QRL and you'll be able to get that, right? But it's really, really important to optimize your profile because, again, if you're a service provider, you want to turn your profile into a landing page, which means that the copy, the headline, the about section is all optimized for one purpose, right? So, for example, if you are a personal branding strategist, then everything in your profile speaks to that, right? And it kind of talks about how you can help people with that, right? Showing testimonials, showing case studies, um, and talking about what makes you different, your unique selling proposition, what makes you different than all the others that are doing the same thing you're doing, right? So you could do that through your profile as well as through your content, right? That's why we emphasize the importance of optimizing your profile, because to be honest, I get a lot of connection requests, and I do check out their profile, and if their profile is blank or doesn't really speak to me, then I won't connect with them, right? So we want to make sure we tick that off, so that it serves us and is not an obstacle to us, right? Does that make sense? Thumbs up if that makes sense. Okay, great. Ooh, my mouth's getting dry from talking. Okay, let me move on to the slide. So the next part of the Bloom method is operations. So that's more about the strategy and the consistency. So this is probably the hardest part of everything I just talked about, because if you don't have the right strategy and you're working so hard with the wrong strategy for you, for your business, then ultimately that's not going to result in the results that you want, right? So first you have to make sure that you have the right strategy in mind. And then consistency, which is like just as hard as the strategy part, because consistency means showing up consistently, weekly, uh, every week, every month, every year for many years, right? That's how you build a network of engaged audience, right? Most people don't want to do that. Most people want to do a fast track approach to networking, to personal branding. And, there's a lot of fake gurus selling, a quick quick follower schemes or whatever, pods and all kind of fancy trickery, right? But we want to do it the right way, because ultimately that's your legacy that's on the line. You know what I mean? Like, your personal brand is more than just like a fancy word that we throw around. It's your legacy, right? And that's why I would never compromise my legacy for fake quick vanity metrics. I want to make sure I do it the right way with the right strategy and the right mindset, right? So that's why I'm clear about my why. I'm clear about who I want to serve, and I show up consistently. Occasionally you'll need a break. Like I took a break famously back in October for a few months because I really needed it, but I'm back and ready to go. And then responding to DMs. Okay, so this is how many of you actually get DMs but don't respond to them? You have to put in the effort to actually respond and show people you care, right? If you want people to care about you, you have to show that you also care, right? So try your best to at least once a week check your DMs, go through them, and just quickly respond to them, right? Creating content that adds value. Now, sometimes value can be subjective, but basically, in the general scheme of things, value means speaking to the pain points of your ideal client. That is what value means. So first, you have to get into the mindset of your ideal client, right? Try to understand their lived experience. Try to understand what makes them tick. Try to understand what are they struggling with, right? And then create your content around that, right? And okay, so the other thing is, and this part I feel like people are really apprehensive about, even though it's like super important. Share your story. Share your story of success and failure. Now, why did I say success and failure? Because there's no such thing as a success only journey, right? If you only talk about your wins, I'm going to be suspicious, to be honest. Because I'm like, okay, so you're always winning, you're never struggling. That's not what most entrepreneurs' journey is, right? So it like we have many stories to share. You're probably wondering, like, I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what to share, right? Share how you helped your clients in the past. Share how you started on LinkedIn. Share how you struggled in the past with your business and how you overcame that, right? There's so many things you could talk about. And the other thing is, people are afraid to, because they don't want to get too personal, right, with their stories. But you don't have to. There's no rule. It's whatever you're comfortable with. Share what you're comfortable with and don't force it, because if you're forcing it, it's unsustainable. Like anything that's forced is unsustainable, unnatural, and it's gonna come off, right? So you don't have to share anything super personal, but you can share a little bit about yourself, your background, like how you got started with your business, some of the early struggles that you've had, how you overcame them, your clients' struggles, how you've helped them, stuff like that. And then strategically position yourself as an expert. How do you do that? How do you strategically position yourself as an expert? One is content, right? Show people what you know through your content, whether that's carousel slides, whether that's, just text posts, whether that's text plus picture posts, whether that's video, right? I still haven't gone around to share videos, but I might after this. Um, but yeah, but also make sure that when you choose a format that you're able to keep up with it. So if carousel slides takes too long for you, then don't do that, or do it like once a month, right? If you feel super camera shy and don't want to share videos, then don't. There are no rules. You get to make the rules, right? If you're serving people, then there are no rules. You're in charge. If you're serving the algorithm, that's another story, right? So don't in my view, I don't think you should serve the algorithm. I think you should write for people because people are the ones who are going to pay you, right? Not the algorithm. So it doesn't matter how many views, your video gets on LinkedIn. If it's not going to speak to the pain points of your clients, and if it's, surface level, then it's not going to convert. So I'm all about the conversion, and it's like ultimately that's what it's about, right? Okay. Um, and then finally, the most important part, in my opinion, monetizing, right? How do you monetize after you've built a robust network of people who genuinely care about what you're doing, okay? And you've connected with them on a personal level. Now you get to decide how to monetize your network, right? So there's two ways. One is inbound leads, and the other is outbound leads, right? So inbound is when someone really loves your content and they decide to message you directly, right? And say, "Hey, I think you can help me with this." They've been following you for a while and they really like what you wrote and they believe in your expertise. So they'll message you, right? So that's one way. The other way is outbound, which is you reach out to people, right? Through the DMs. So first, before you start to monetize, it's important to create your ideal client profile, your ICP. And so that could be as detailed as you like it to be. So think about the lived experience of your ideal client, what their struggles are, what their dreams are, what their hopes are, right? And then think about the demographics, like the age range, their location, and stuff like that. And then search for them on LinkedIn, which I'll show you in a minute how to do that. Yeah, as I said, generate inbound leads with targeted messaging. So it all kind of works together. The copy on your profile, the copy in your messaging, in your content, and the copy that you then give to your ideal client in the DMs, they all cohesively work together, right? It's all one. That's why you can't do one and ignore the rest. Like you have to do it all. Um, Otherwise it won't work. Trust me, I tried. It won't work. So just having an optimized profile without the content, it's not going to work. Having the content and the profile, but you rely on AI messages, it's not going to work, right? So it has to all kind of work together. And again, I'm always going to go back to this, adding value to your ICP. So like, again, with the content and even with the DMs, if you see them struggling with something, reach out to them, be like, "Hey, I saw that your last post, the copy was, say it in a nice way, but basically like say, I can offer you my checklist, copywriting checklist, check it out." Send that in the DM and have them download it, right? Without expecting anything in return. Just be nice, add value, share your knowledge on a consistent basis, and people will really appreciate that, right? No pushy sales strategies. We don't believe in that. Like that doesn't work, right? It's all about service. Like, how do I serve my community? So think about your LinkedIn as a community. It's your community that you've built and how best you can serve them, right? And then using advanced sales tools like Sales Navigator to find targeted. So Sales Navigator is a paid like sales generator, and it helps you because it's very specific. You can be very specific with Sales Navigator. Find the demographics, find even some psychographics as well, find the location of your ideal clients and their kind of their online behavior on LinkedIn. So that's a premium service that you have to pay for, right? It's not free. I think they give you like 1 month free or something. Right now, they're giving 1 month free, and then the rest you have to pay for it. But some people think it's worth it, especially if you're in sales. It might be worth it to get Sales Navigator. Otherwise, if you're not ready for that yet, then we'll do the regular search, which is this one. So for example, let's say your ICP is a coach, then you search coach on LinkedIn, and then you go to people, and then you find if you're not already connected, then they're going to be second or third degree connections, right? Once you do that, there's also more specific filters, as you can see here, with the location, with the kind of coaching and services that they offer. And so this is a filtering system for trying to find, prospects, right? So that's free. So you could do that as well. So that's for outbound, finding outbound leads. Okay. Wow, I went through that pretty quickly, but I'll pause now and take questions if anybody has questions. Does anyone have questions for me? You can unmute or type it in the chat.
I have not the question, but I like yesterday I applied for free trial Sales Navigator, so I'm quite interested how it works because I have no clue, or even that free version is cool because yeah I'm not so in LinkedIn.
Yes. So this is yeah, I can send you actually a video. I found a really good video that talks about exactly how to use Sales Navigator. So if you're not already connected with me on LinkedIn, please connect, and then you can scan the QR code above, and then we can connect on LinkedIn. But as this is not a Sales Navigator workshop, so I will not go into too much detail about it. But it's some people I've spoken with said it was worth it because it's very targeted. So it's like a CRM built into LinkedIn itself, right? So, but the thing is, it's like if you're not in sales, volume wise, I don't know if it makes sense. But if you are in sales, it might actually make sense for you. So you have to kind of be the judge for yourself. But it's quite pricey. Yeah, it's like $99 a month. So you have to kind of balance out like the benefit versus cost analysis, right? To see if it's ultimately worth it. I'm going to get it like very soon. I think because I want to try it and see. But the videos I've seen of it, it's pretty cool. It's a really cool feature. Yeah. So let me see if anyone else has a question in the okay, that's we're already past that. Yes. Anyone have questions? Yes, Cindy, go ahead.
Yes, thank you already for sharing everything. This is really very valuable for me. I'm not so long on LinkedIn. I started a little bit last year, but just doing it from January. So it's really very fresh for me. So while you were talking about the Sales Navigator, I was thinking also, is it important in the beginning? Because I just started with the free version of LinkedIn. I know there are different ones. So would you recommend to go to a premium or pro version immediately, or would you recommend first to discover LinkedIn, or what are your feelings about it, please?
Yes, great question. No, you do not need to buy any premium. You do not need to buy any Sales Navigator when you're first starting. Because remember, we're trying to have the building blocks first. We're trying to optimize the profile. We're trying to create the content. We're trying to reach out to the people we already have in our network, as well as second and third degree connections. So actually, LinkedIn allows you to add directly 30,000 people. right? 30,000 connections. So you could do that without ever buying anything, right? But again, it's about the intentionality behind the people that you add, and it's about understanding your why. And I still haven't gotten, I didn't get anything paid up until now. I've been doing pretty well without it, right? But I just want to take it to the next level as far as my expertise, right? So that's why I would get it. But if you're not in sales, it doesn't really make sense to get it. First, you need to set up the profile and kind of familiarize yourself with the free versions of everything before you jump the gun. So I would wait a few months, before you take that leap, right? But I mean, they're pushing that just because they want to make money, but it's at the end of the day, you could still succeed on LinkedIn without it. However, it has a little bit of a benefit, but I wouldn't say it's like, make or break type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, thanks for that. But that was maybe interesting what you were telling at the end. So I do understand that first I have to put out my valuable content, create connections and things like that, which is normal for me. This is, of course, this is the basis of everything. But what are the little extras if you would have a premium? Because at the end, it will be for lead generation as well and creating a community. So what's my second question is concerning community. So, but what is the benefit if you have a premium? What is the benefit?
The
Are you
benefit
able
is
to?
you can directly message people who request your services. So right now that's not it used to be free, but now they blocked that. So they want to incentivize you to buy it. And then you get your people can rate you directly after your service and give you a 5-star. And then your testimonials are moved up, right? And then you get a link to your website or whatever. You can add the link, but the link shows up in your headline, like under your headline. Right now it doesn't show that. So right now the link, only when someone goes to your profile they can see the link, right? But you could when people read your comment they can see the link and they can click, right? So that makes it more accessible. So those are the main sort of thing. Oh, and you could see who viewed your profile.
Okay. Otherwise, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you don't see it really. And maybe a
Yeah.
last question. You were talking about first, second, and third degree connections. What do you mean with that?
Oh, I showed that a little bit earlier. So it's here.
Yeah, I
Can you
see it
see?
as well. But how do you
Yes.
become a first, second, and third?
So first is people that you're directly connected with,
Okay. Okay.
right? Second is someone that you know someone else. And then third is there's no direct connection.
Okay.
So
Great. Thanks for everything. Thank you.
you're welcome. Okay. Um, Aurelie?
Yes, Rose, I have a question. Technical one about the LinkedIn Lives. When you're, well, you host, imagine you're hosting a live with someone else. Actually, can the people who are participants interact during
Yes.
can they show up on on camera? A participant to a LinkedIn Live, can they show up on camera? They can talk?
They can't talk unless you invite them up to through the link. So you send them the link to become a speaker, right? But otherwise they can interact through the comments. So when they write the comments under the event, you'll be able to see that and you'll be able to respond to them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but you're only reading their comments and responding to them while
Yes.
you're speaking,
That's
but you
why
cannot really,
that's
you're not talking to them. They're not there speaking to you,
exactly.
are they?
Exactly. And that is why I miss the audio events because you were able to do that on the audio events, but
Yeah.
LinkedIn took that away in December. You were able to bring someone on stage. I don't know, have you tried audio events before?
I have, but it was a few years ago, and we were several speakers, and I remember we had participants, but you could not see them. We couldn't see them, and they couldn't talk. they couldn't participate to the conversation.
Yeah, so back in December before LinkedIn took the audio event feature away, you were able to get people on stage, which I utilized the audio event a lot. That's how I was able to grow on LinkedIn because people really liked my audio event, so they would come. But unfortunately for the LinkedIn Live, you could only interact through the comments, so they can see you, they can hear you, but you can't, you can't really bring them to talk unless you invite them directly as a speaker through a
Yeah, and
link.
you're not seeing them. You're not seeing anyone, actually, are you?
You can see the comments if you set it up through StreamYard. I can send you the link for StreamYard. I don't know, have you tried that before?
No, 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 no. And yeah, that was my understanding that so you're really
Yeah.
talking to your screen. You're not seeing the participant on camera when you're on the LinkedIn Live, right?
Yes, exactly.
That's I'm interested in the LinkedIn Lives, but I have one that I'm gonna do soon. And I'm taking them off the LinkedIn platform because I want to be able to see people and talk to them.
Hmm. Yeah, that's actually a great idea. I think I will also do that. Like, I will send a link to my Zoom event, and then people just can sign up through Zoom, and then that way I can do what we're doing right now, which is like interact and see
Exactly.
people. Yeah.
Exactly as you're doing right now. So, do we get the same benefit from hosting events on LinkedIn, which are actually not lives, but an online event through another platform such as Zoom? Do you see the same benefits in terms of
Um,
reach, news,
no,
etc.?
because if you do a live, you can have the replay option. So people who are not able to attend your event live,
Yeah,
they won't be able to replay it and see it if it's on Zoom,
yeah,
a
true,
separate link. Yeah, that's the only
true.
difference.
Which in some occasions, I think this is an option I would consciously select not have a replay available. Um,
Hmm.
like I don't know, like I'm thinking if I share some of the things I would share or the program content or the commercial offer, I'd rather have them via a separate conversation when we can actually interact versus yeah,
Yeah,
very
I
interaction over
totally
replays.
hear you on that because I'm all about the interactions. I feel so awkward talking to myself. Like just
Yeah, yeah,
staring at the camera and there's no interactions. I feed off of the interaction. It gives me
yeah,
energy. You know what I mean?
totally,
So
totally.
yeah,
Of course, yeah.
it's unfortunate that they. I mean, audio events were doing so well. They were so popular. So I'm not sure what they're thinking. I think they're just pushing like video content. That's
Mm.
why I think they are doing that. But yeah, try it and see what happens. Let me know. Good luck with your
Yeah,
upcoming
I will
event.
explore. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Okay, are there any other questions before we wrap up? Now is the chance to answer. Yes, go ahead. Cindy, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I put it in the chat just concerning what Arlie was saying of the LinkedIn Live. You were telling that you can put a Zoom link, but can you also put Google Meet or Teams in it, or is it only connecting with Zoom and working together with Zoom?
Yes, you can put any external link if,
Okay,
yeah. So, yeah.
thanks.
Okay, I just I want to plug if you want to work with me, you can scan this QRL code. Otherwise, you can follow me on LinkedIn, which is the QRL code above. I hope you guys enjoyed this event. Thank you so much for coming and spending your time with me, and thank you for all your questions. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I'll see you guys on the next event or on LinkedIn. I'll do a link. You guys inspired me to do a LinkedIn live. So maybe I'll just do that. So thank you, everybody. Take care.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.